Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and... Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Alright, I had myself muted when I thought I didn't. Alright, here we are. Time to go, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the Amateur Dota 2 League's Tuesday League, which is the Season 2 League, playoffs. It's playoff time. And we are looking at Team Lucid versus DKD.Canuck. And that sounds like something in another language, which I am not pronouncing properly. So DKD it is for tonight. Definitely wish I had better pronunciation on that. But either way, getting into this game, it is okay. So let me clarify to begin with. Now, in the Amateur Dota 2 League, games are generally played in the round robin in a best of 2 series, which means that players play 2 games a night, and when they win a game, they take a point. And you just play every single team in a big circle, and whoever takes the most points at the end of it gets into the playoffs. Now, in the playoffs, it is a different format. It is a best of 3 single elimination. So you play your best of 3. If you lose and you're out. If you win, you continue on and get a chance to advance to the round of 8, then into the semifinals and the finals. Of course, right now we are in the round of 16, the first round of the playoffs, and Team Lucid versus DKD. Now, Team Lucid is the higher tiered, or the higher seeded team rather, which means that they get their choice of first pick or their side preference for games 1 and 3. Now in games 2, it goes to DKD as they are lower seeded. But anyways, anything can happen. First team to take 2 games wins. And it's going to be an exciting one. I love casting Team Lucid. I was actually given a choice as to what teams I wanted to cast for this particular round, as we're a little bit more disorganized, and so I ended up getting a pick to take Team Lucid because they're always a really entertaining team to pick. Now, I was actually talking with A3P, who is the captain and drafter right now, and he was asking me what he thought my top picks and choices were, and turns out we had a lot of similar ideas about drafting currently, and one thing we agreed on is that Invoker is top tier first or second pick almost always, and it's something that it's a high skill hero, but if you can fit him in, if you got a player who can play him, he fits into almost any lineup. He's such a ridiculously strong hero and like I said, he fits into any lineup. There's really nothing that Invoker can't do. And so he's just fantastic. And so we see Lucid picking that up here. Now, Crystal Maiden and Mirana are the response by DKD. Now, Mirana, ridiculously strong. I think it was mentioned in the MLG TKO tournament today, and also on Honey's stream last night, that Honey absolutely hates Mirana. And we saw that. Actually, no, it wasn't MLG TKO. It was the Beyond the Summit Reverse Captain's Draft. I think that was what it was. No, it wasn't Reverse Captain's Draft. It was a Captain's Draft. It was a Captain's Draft tournament. I can't remember. No, it was Join Dota. Damn it, I feel so bad for not knowing this, but yeah, there was a Captain's Draft tournament going on, put on by either Beyond the Summit or Join Dota, and I can't remember which one it was, but they were pointing out that Mirana came up in one of the Captain's Drafts, and Fnatic banned it right off the bat, because Hani absolutely hates Mirana, and it's understandable. I mean, it's such a frustrating hero to play against, even if it's not played well, or even if you shut her down, her ultimate is always obnoxious for team fights. I mean, it's a better smoke of deceit. If you want to use it that way, it's a really good escape. It helps your team be really evasive in team fights. And that arrow is just so obnoxious, because if you're not directly paying attention to your hero, if you're lining up a skill shot, if you're looking elsewhere, maybe landing a Sunstrike or something, that arrow can land you so easy. It's such a fat AoE. And it's just ridiculous. So anyways, Crystal Maiden and Mirana are going to be the combo. And we could be seeing that on a tri-lane, but Mirana could also go towards that mid or the off lane. Crystal Maiden really good with that Frostbite for holding people in place for the arrow. But it'll really depend on what their next support is. You need something kind of bursty with a stun or two to really follow that up, whether it be a Leshrac, a Lina, even a Bane to help help hold people in position longer. You need something there to really increase the potency of that lane. If you pick a more passive support, something like a Rubik or a Shadow Demon or something along those lines, it's a little bit harder to make that work as a tri-lane. Now, Nyx Assassin was a pickup for Team Lucid, so they're looking to grab that. He's a really strong hero nowadays in today's meta, and I think that's more just because other heroes have been nerfed around him, and he's kind of come back up to popularity. People are kind of learning how to land that impale now that it's not hero targeted, and it's gonna get a little more interesting. Now, these are some interesting bans. We got Timbersaw, which is pretty normal. Team Lucid gets rid of that right off the bat, but Bloodseeker banned by DKD. Now, I'm not entirely sure about the Bloodseeker ban. I'm not sure if it's justified, not sure if it's reasonable, or if it was just kind of something they threw out there for the sake of it. But, who knows, man? Who knows?
10 seconds remaining.
I'm kind of unsure about that. I don't know what Bloodseeker would have offered that another hero wouldn't have, but... we'll see. Maybe that was a slip-up. I'm not sure who Bloodseeker is beside in the player's interface. Maybe he meant to click on something else. Might have been meaning to... No, Bristleback's already banned.
Radiant team pick.
What the hell is he doing? I don't know. Whatever, man. Whatever. We got a Bloodseeker ban. Now, Weaver also banned out, so getting rid of that right off the bat. Oh, not right off the bat, halfway through the draft, and Weaver's just annoying as hell. Now, there are 2 Invis heroes on Team Lucid, so having a Revealer would not be a bad idea for DKD. Now, it might not play into their strategy well, but if they wanted to go for an offlane bounty hunter or something, it might fare them pretty damn well. Nyx Assassin is really obnoxious with Vendetta, as well as Invoker. It is just such a pain in the ass when you're chasing him down, and he manages to get that Ghost Walk off, and you just don't have detection, because in general, Invokers won't use Ghost Walk that often. It's kind of like that, oh shit, I'm fucked, there's 5 heroes coming for me, what do I do? Ghost Walk. Like that. That's the sort of scenario that Invokers use Ghost Walk in. So, you don't really think to pick up detection just for Invoker, but, it's really obnoxious to deal with regardless. Now, Luna is picked up by DKD, so they've got that available to them. Now, that means that's probably going to be their hard lane farmer, which also means that Murata will probably be taking up another role, likely the mid lane. She's okay on the off lane, but there are many other heroes that thrive a little bit better than her. Now, speaking of the off lane, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this Nyx, because we've seen a number of off lane Nyxes in recent games, which is a little bit of an interesting turn of events. Generally, Nyx Assassin is treated as a support, and especially with the Shadow Demon pickup, I'm thinking that's what it's going to be. However, you can always do it. Now, I don't really like Nyx on the offlane. A lot of people prefer it because it's safe. You can throw a Spike Carapace if you get in trouble, but you really can't thrive there. It's hard to get EXP because you're easily zoned, and aside from that, you can't get gold because you can't get up close to a melee hero with no real range spammable abilities, and your invis doesn't come up to level 6, and even then it's a fat cooldown, and so it's really, really hard to play that Nyx Assassin on the offlane. I really don't like it there. Some teams manage to do it, but I think throwing something else up there would be preferable. Now, looking towards the 4th pick here for DKD, curious what they're going to go for. Like I said, Murata can either go to the off lane or the mid lane at this point. Don't think she'll be going to the tri lane. She could play as a support, but it's not something we see that's very popular. So they do grab the Clinks, so it looks like the Clinks will be the off laner, and Murata will be heading towards mid. So we're looking to grab another support for DKD. I'm liking their draft so far. They've got a lot of damage output and a decent amount of control. Luna's stun is not incredibly powerful as a stun, but it's a good nuke, and it'll cancel TPs, which is basically why it is a stun and not just a pure nuke. Now, aside from that, there's a lot of control on Lucid, though. They've got Disruption, they've got Demonic Purge, they've got Impale, they've got Spike Carapace, they've got everything from Invoker, from Tornado to Cold Snap to EMP to Deafening Blast to Ice Wall. Invoker is the definition of control. And this is actually pretty interesting because having that Invoker also allows them to take the Viper, who is generally a hero that will suffer from a huge amount of mobility because he's not very mobile or controlly himself. He's got slows, but it's pretty easy to get around him if you have something like a Storm Spirit. You have the Murata who can leap, the Clinks who can invis, things like that. But the massive amount of control coming out on Team Lucid, Viper's just going to be free to dish out all the damage he wants. He can, just auto attack with that Nether Toxin and just really make people's lives hell. So I do like the Viper pickup, and I think it'll fare them pretty well. I think that's going to be going towards a tri-lane, and they'll still be looking for an off-laner here. Now, I think Bounty Hunter is actually a really good pick for either team. Actually, no, not anymore. Not anymore for DKD. I was thinking that in place of the Clinks, but obviously they picked up that Clinks. They'll be looking for another support, but I think Lucid could fare to go for that as well. Keeping somebody tracked under the Moonlight Shadow is really good, and as well throwing track up on Clinks would be invaluable to them. So I think that might be the way to go, but we'll see what they choose to do in just a moment. DKD, like I said, looking for that other support. I'm looking at something a little more bursty, something that can really contribute to... well, actually, no, not so much. I think a safer support, something like a Leshrac or no, not Leshrac. What the hell am I saying? I'm thinking something with a lot more control, something along the lines of a Rubik, something along the lines of a Jakiro, maybe even an Ancient Apparition, though he can be a little flaky on his control. Earthshaker would be really good for them right now. They've got 2 ranged heroes in that lane, so having a melee support would not be detrimental to them. A support Wind Ranger would work really well. Just something that can keep Luna safe. I think at this moment, Team Lucid is out-carried by DKD if they got a lot of gold under their belts, but it's really going to be a matter of getting those key people that gold. Luna has to be able to farm up, and considering the way Team Lucid's draft is looking, they could be going aggressive. Now, in my talk with A3P earlier, he revealed to me that he is he wants to stray away from going aggressive tri-lanes, because that is generally Team Lucid's style. They like to go for aggressive lanes. They like to push the other team into making mistakes. And he said, I want to try to be a little more diverse with my drafts. Get some defensive lanes going and farm up and see what our games turn out like that. So he's that was just kind of a thought that came out. It doesn't mean that's exactly what they're going to do, and their lanes certainly look like they could be aggressive. Now, Magnus, this is really interesting. So they are going to be going for a support Mirana. Now, support Mirana with Crystal Maiden, it worries me a little. Ooh, okay, Viper off lane, faces Void tri-lane. So this tells me that they're going to be going for a safe tri-lane here. Nyx Assassin and Shadow Demon, pretty good roaming combo as well. That faces Void, he is really, really poor on an aggressive lane. He doesn't have anything that can really contribute to an aggressive lane aside from potential bashes, which is something you should not be relying on if you want to get kills. So it'll be Void farming the safe lane with a couple supports here, and then the Viper will be heading to the off lane, and we'll have Invoker on the mid. Now, down for DKD, hey, I got a shout out. They'll be sending that Magnus towards the mid lane. Crystal Maiden, Luna, and Mirana will be heading down towards the bottom safe lane, and we will have the Clinks up towards the top. Now, let's run through our lineups. We've got D2, D squared, D cubed, no, squared, D squared. He's going to be playing on that Invoker. He's going to the off lane. Viper's going mid. All right, that was potential too. I didn't really mention it because Invoker usually goes mid, but both these heroes can function well in either lane. Now, I usually prefer Invoker on the mid, but Viper can function there just as well. Now, it looks like we might... Oh, yeah, there's pings out there. They know what's up there. All right, so, D squared on the Invoker. In the mid lane, we got the stand-in Snorlax up on that Viper. Got A3P playing the carry role on the Faceless Void, Fugitive on the Shadow Demon, and Milkbox up on that Nyx Assassin. Now, up on the top lane for DKD, we've got Monocle Chook, Mindfire on the Mirana. We've got Meepow on the Magnus, Space Created on the Luna, Tron Buster, Crystal Maiden. And that is your lineups. DKD versus Team Lucid. Now, looks like Shadow Demon did grab himself an Illusion Rune to begin this game. Took a little bit of damage from a Mirana arrow, but got himself out of that just fine. Used the illusions to harass the Mirana back. Now, trading a little bit of damage with her. I mean, that's whatever you can get off there. She'll regen that pretty easily. So, Mirana kind of just danced around here. Not sure. I think she's going to try to get a arrow in on the mid lane, and she throws it. Now, it is not going to land. So, she's pretty much out of mana. She can't really do anything. She'll probably wander down to the bottom to try to contribute to that lane. Now, it looks like Void's going to have a pretty easy lane up here on the top, farming away. And, Clink's just getting pushed back here. He does have Skeleton Walk, and he's going to trade with the support. Now, this is something you got to be really careful about as an offlaner. A lot of times the support will do exactly what Fugitive's doing here. Get right up in your face and just throw auto attacks at you. And generally, on the side of the tri-lane, you'll have a lot more regen available to you. You'll have 3 heroes worth of regen, whereas, you know, you've only got your pool available to you as the offlaner. And so even if Shadow Demon is holding on to one set of tangos like he is now, any trade that he takes is in his favor. Because if Clinks decides to go on it, the other support will be there, the carry will be there, and there's not much Clinks can do about it. He's not going to get a kill out of it, and he's certainly not going to trade evenly, because like I said, there's more regen on this side. So you got to be really careful about trading blows, because now he's down to 3 tangos. He should probably use another right now, because he's about 200 health down. And, I mean, the other teams lost about as much, but they've got more heroes. So you got to be really careful about that. Now, in the mid lane, Viper and Magnus, this is probably going to favor the Viper pretty well. Magnus should be able to get a couple last hits, especially once he has a bottle. He can just throw out those shockwaves, but even then, he's going to be eating the corrosive skins and will only be getting minimal last hits because he can't get into melee range. Now down on this bottom lane, Invoker, he is going to be going for a Quas Wex build, I would assume here, because he started off with Wex, which means that he's going to be really mobile, but he's going to have to be really worried as well, because Ghost Walk is the only way he's going to escape from any shenanigans. So if they catch him after invoking something, you know, a tornado doesn't land or something, and he gets caught out, I mean, like, he's really far up here. If Crystal Maiden had come around those trees... Oh, Jesus. Missing first blood. I'm a terrible person. Anyways, they catch the Clinks up on the top lane. They had a sentry brought up to them, and they drop it right in the lane, making sure that he can't stealth away. And they finish him off. Oh, God damn it! That's 2. Alright, yeah, Invoker. I thought he was going to get out because he saw the Crystal Maiden, but he did stay a little bit too far up. Crystal Maiden hooked around, like I was about to say there, and gets the kill. So, my bad there, guys. I missed a couple kills. But, yeah, I think we all saw those. I didn't see the Clinks kill coming, but, actually, I didn't see the Invoker kill coming either. Never mind. I'm just bad. Anyways, 3 minutes in the game, we got a kill on either side. Both offlaners giving up a respective kill. Oh, Jesus. In the mid lane. How did Magnus even do that? Viper was just hanging pretty low. I guess he just eaten one too many shockwaves and gets caught out of position. So I guess that's it. Magnus doing a lot better than I expected him to in this mid lane, actually picking up a kill on the solo Viper. Now the Viper is a stand-in, so I'm not sure how familiar Lucid are with him. Could just be somebody that they picked up off of the AD2L guild chat, which it might not be the best for him, but I mean, who knows? It could be something that someone they played with before and he's just not having a great time. Viper should, in all rights, win that lane. Now we get a disruption out on the Clinks, but the Impale misses, and so he's going to run himself away. I think if that Impale landed, they probably would have had him a lot lower, maybe even gotten the kill there, but no way to know for sure, as that has just ended up in... I don't know. Ended up in Clink's favor. He gets away. Now, looking towards the last hits, we got 22 and 11 up on the Luna. She's leading the charts. Viper doing pretty damn well for himself. 18 and 4, or 19 and 4 now. 17 and 5 on the Faceless Void. And I mean, this was what I was talking about earlier. Viper should win this lane because I mean, if Magnus tries to get too close, just throw out those Nether Toxin attacks, and you know that's it. But if you get into a scuffle like this with the Magnus running up here, he's got the Skewer, he's got the Illusions. This could be pretty dangerous. Now, Shadow Demon and Nyx are both here. They were smoke ganking, and Viper's just going to get right up in his face, hold him down while the Nyx Assassin comes in. Impale's going to land, and a couple more auto attacks is going to finish off Magnus. He drops, support rotation is successful, and Viper gets himself a kill. That was much needed to get him back that edge he needed in the lane. Now they're pinging out on the Invoker, looking to see if they can get something going, but they don't manage to. He gets himself away. He's got Tornado and EMP invoked right now, so he can burn off that mana if something does come his way. Now that'll be very handy against the Crystal Maiden and the Mirana, because both of them have pretty bad mana pools to begin with. They have a lot of regen because of the Arcane Aura, but they don't have a huge base mana pool. And we see a Midas picked up by Luna. That is a 5-minute Midas, so really good time on that. She's farming really damn well, and will have herself a ton of gold if she continues to farm unabated like this. Now, it will... Oh, man. Oh, Mirana making the plays, leaping forward, getting the Starfall and the arrow. Now, dropping Invoker really low, but with a turnaround Tornado EMP combo, he should escape from that. Now, that was so close. I mean, those were some serious plays by that Mirana. jumping in, getting the Starfall, leaping forward, and then landing that arrow at point blank, giving Luna enough time to get in there and dish out a little bit more damage. Really close to a kill, but not quite as he jukes into the trees. Now, looks like we've got a Wraith Band coming out to Viper in a moment. Oh man, pinging out on the Clinks. They know he's there. Oh, is he going to snipe a courier? They saw him coming this way, so they're microing their courier away. Now that is a Jade Hoof. That is the fancy courier that you get for getting a super high score in the New Bloom Challenge. These guys know what they're doing. Now, looks like Invoker's healed himself up pretty well. I mean, Quas only at level 1, but it is a little bit of extra regen, and he did pop off himself, so he's going to be okay. Now, Magnus finds himself a double damage rune on bottom. Not going to gank with it quite yet. Just going to return to mid and try to hold that off. Now, Nyx is here. Look, he was looking to see if he could find something, but is not going to at this time. Now, I really think that Lucid needs to make an effort to get some ganks coming out on this Luna, because Faces Void is doing alright, but... alright, what do we got? We got a Midas? Yeah, okay, so we do have a Midas coming out to Void. It is nearly 2 minutes later than the Lunas, though. Actually, yeah, it's about exactly 2 minutes later than Lunas, which, you know, that's going to put him behind. It's going to put him behind. It's nice to have it, but, you know, he just didn't get the gold where he needed it. Now, Magnus going forward, dropping the RP, which means the arrow will land for sure, and they're going to be looking for this kill. Bam, they get the Viper. No questions asked. Clinks was coming in, but he was a little bit late, and, oh man, that was really nice. That RP actually pulled him in from about here to here, and the arrow was coming in right about here, which meant that it was all on that RP to make that arrow land. So, very well played, but... yeah. Oh, jeez. Luna finds herself an Invoker. Pops off that Eclipse as he got himself... Oh, yeah, I see what he did. He ate a Tango and tried to cut himself into the Secret Shop to get his face boots. And Luna found him and just punished him for it. So, anyways, up on the top lane here, we do have a Frostbite going on that Nyx Assassin. He turns around, yeah, Mana Burns off that Crystal Maiden. Now with a defensive disruption, he is going to escape as Void drops the Chronosphere. Going to try to make some of that, but he has to turn himself around as the Magnus is coming in, and he realizes he isn't doing enough damage. Now Magnus really looking for this. He throws out the Shockwave, and it will finish off Void, so he drops 5-2 your kill score right now for DKD, and not done yet. Looking for that Shadow Demon, and he is dropping down pretty damn low, but not enough to catch him quite yet. Shockwave hits. Clinks is going to be looking for it. Oh, this arrow! No, not going to hit. He walks up ahead of the tower. Now Viper on the back lines finds himself the Mirana. He's going to be dishing out that damage. Will get that kill. No questions asked. He's got a haste to get himself out of this if he wants to, but instead he chooses to beat down on this Clinks, and he does not have enough mana for Skeleton Walk. He's going to get himself caught. He dies. 3 kills turned back around, and Lucid is not done yet. Looking for that Crystal Maiden. She is slowed down. If they can manage to catch her with one more attack, she is going to drop. Magnus now running himself into the Secret Shop. He should be able to TP himself out of this, no problem. But if they do manage... No, he's gone. He's gone. Woo-wee! Alright, so Lucid take what looked to be a losing situation, and with some good rotations and turnarounds, they do manage to find themselves a couple kills. And a kill advantage now. As I said, mid-fight there, 5-2 was the kill score for DKD, and 4 kills coming back the way of Lucid. Shores that team fight up and grabs them an actual advantage here. So I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Now Void, only 2 CS behind the Luna, and I think with the... actually, alright, no. He's still a kill behind Luna, and she's got her helm up, so he's going to be farming a little bit more efficiently than him right now, but they are keeping on a pretty even pace. Don't want to discount either hero right now as they're both playing really well. Oh my god. Mirana been doing work here, stacking up that hard camp, so as soon as Luna gets a couple more points in Glaives, she can run over there and clear that out. Now, she did go for an early point in Glaives as opposed to maxing out her Lunar Blessing, which means that she's going to have the ability to clear those camps with her lifesteal, but she's going to be lacking a little bit more on the damage than she would normally. But she does know that hard camp's there, and it looks like she's going to be going to clear that out right now. Is that where she's going?
Radiant's top tower
on the top lane, Faces Void clears out the tower. Clink gets there just in time to kind of shove him away, but that's all he's going to be able to do now. Luna farming up this camp, going to grab herself a fat chunk of gold, and she's going to shoot up a little bit further here in the CS, especially considering Void just knocked down his tower and doesn't quite have a safe place to farm at this point in time. Now it looks like we've got an Invis Magnus rotating down to the bottom lane, but Lucid gets himself out as... Lucid Team Lucid get themselves out as they realize that something is coming their way. I'm pretty sure they saw Magnus pick up that Invis rune with this ward down here, so they know that something is going on, and they're playing pretty defensively because of it. Good game sense there. They're making sure that they're not getting caught out by anything silly. Crystal Maiden up in the mid lane just trying to farm up this creep wave as her mid lane counterpart has not quite shown up yet. Clink's running right across here, and that sentry ward that was sitting in the mid lane has died. Viper making his way up. Now, oh man, they're looking for it. They're looking for it. They throw out the Viper Strike onto the Luna, looking for as much damage as they can. EMP flies out, but oh my god, the Eclipse drops Viper down really low. Luna dies in the process, but 1-for-1 trade there, and I think that actually favors Lucid. Luna is the one they need to shut down, the one they want to shut down, and any kill that they can get on her. Even 2-hero trades for her at this point will probably be worth it. I'm hesitant to say that because you can't, I mean, it's never really a good deal, but I mean, there are some times when you just gotta shut that carry down, and that Luna's been farming really well. She's even got herself sitting up here so that he can farm up those ancient camps whenever, or stack up those ancient camps rather, whenever he needs to. Down in the bottom lane, Clink's applying a little bit of pressure, getting up in Invoker's face, but not quite shoving at the tower yet. Void moving up a little bit further, starting to clear up this creep wave. He does have himself some power treads and the Hand of Midas now. The mid lane, it looks like Shadow Demon wants to make a gank happen if Magnus comes a little bit too far forward, but Magnus not interested, going to turn around, run himself up to that regen rune and pick it up for himself.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
As a creep wave moves in towards the tier 2, Void's going to back himself off, get into the jungle, and start farming this up. Midas is the big creep so that he can get his EXP up early, and will proceed to make his way into the jungle where he can continue to farm. Now, Viper now finish that full hand of, or that full hand of Midas, full mechanism. So he's going to have the heals, going to have that tank ability, lots of armor on him already, and you know, Magnus going to dash away from him. Scary sight there. Invoker and Luna starting to trade a little bit more, or Luna, not Luna, Mirana. The other righty lady, cat righty person thing. His ping's coming out. Smoked up Shadow Demon walking through his own jungle. Gonna run into that Clinks, and they throw out a disruption on him right away. Drop a ward, and the Chronosphere goes down. Lots of damage getting dished out, and they do finish off the Clinks before he can make anything happen. Now Magnus getting in the middle of all this, throws out the RP, but A3P very wisely staying out of that until afterwards, coming back in, and he doesn't get the last hit, but he gets the assist. Nyx Assassin gets that kill on the Magnus, and 6-9 your kill score now. Lucid leading the charge, grabbing themselves an early tower, not losing any of their own, and a 3-kill advantage their way. So doing good in the early game. We'll see if DKD can hold on and bring it back their way. Now in the mid lane, pressure being applied to this tier 3 tower. Sentry Ward is down to keep them safe. They got 4 heroes, and I think without a serious TP Fortify, this is not going to happen. Oh my god, Crystal Maiden goes in alone, gets Cold Snap, EMP, Tornado. She is done. That was really, really sloppy. Now, pressure still coming in on this tier 3, or this tier 1, and they've got a siege creep with them. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold this. There is no RP up. There's only the Clinks and the Magnus here. The best they can hope for is a deny right now. Meanwhile, they get a trade for the bottom tier 1, so not terrible on their parts, but they did lose the Crystal Maiden. And, oh man, Magnus, okay. It's a little scary. A little bit scary, but they do get themselves out of there, only losing 1 and grabbing themselves a tower. So, not a terrible trade, but still not optimal. Of course, that mid tower is worth quite a bit more than a side lane tower, but you know, you make whatever trades you can. Mask of Madness now perched up on that Faceless Void, so he's going to be able to beat those people down a lot quicker inside that Chronosphere, giving him that little bit of extra damage where he needs it. Now, it looks like these Ancients are double stacked. In about 10 seconds here, we'll see the triple stack, and Luna will probably make her way over that way to start clearing those out. She is farming up on the top lane right now. Looks like she's going directly for a Black King bar after getting that Helm of the Dominator and the Midas. So she's going straight into the survivability. Very wise for the Luna as she dishes out a lot of damage innately anyways, and we'll be getting that... We'll be getting those heavy damage items a little later on when she really needs them to stay on par with the Void. Now that's something that's going to be an interesting dynamic about this late game, and something I've been finding in pub games a lot recently, is that Faceless Void's become quite a popular pickup, and in that, it's really interesting because Faceless Void is really, really hard to deal with because at any point he can jump from anywhere and get that Chronosphere down. And if he lands a decent enough Chronosphere, you know, one of your heroes is pretty much dead guaranteed. There's the odd chance where they, you know, it won't happen. We got action on the mid lane. Nick's getting in there, but he gets Surge back. He gets skewered back now. A big RP coming down. This is getting turned around pretty quickly. Nyx gets dropped. Magnus does fall, but Shadow Demon getting caught out in the middle of that as well. EMP will finish off Mirana, and now looking for that Clinks, but the Moonlight Shadow is up, so he's going to be able to fade away and run off of that. Now the Eclipse pops out. Lots of damage being done, but it is split evenly between the heroes, and both actually die. So Lucid losing 4 in that fight. DKD losing 3. After the Crystal Maiden fights falls at the end of that. Now, the gold going to the appropriate heroes on DKD as well. Clinks and Luna cleaning up that fight, getting themselves a couple kills each, and will manage to pick themselves up a lot more gold. Meanwhile, the Faceless Void simply just farming. Now, farming is great, creeps are awesome, but kills are even better. So, a kill in Dota is roughly equivalent to about 6 or 7 creep kills. Now, those 6 or 7 creep kills, you know, that isn't raw gold value. However, whenever you kill somebody, you reduce their gold totals and thus create a bigger net worth gap, which equates to about 500 or 600. So when you look at a kill, you create a gold gap of about 500, which means that plus normal farming time. So of course, always better to get a kill than farm. But, you know, it's not as significant as some people think. I mean, if you spend the entire game ganking and don't farm at all, you end up finishing the game with 30 CS or something like that, and you've got 25 kills. The guy who's got 300 CS is going to be doing a lot better than you. And, you know, a lot of people in lower tiers will wonder why they get to the end of the game and say, oh, what the hell, I got so many kills, why wasn't I able to win? Well, I mean, A, you were either playing a hero that doesn't farm well enough in the late game, or you just weren't farming well enough. Now, an arrow going to fly in, catch that Faceless Void, and he does backtrack the damage, but the stun goes through, and the Clinks will beat down on him, finish him off in the jungle. So Void falls, and DKD looking strong now. They've got themselves a really nice team fight in that mid lane, picking off the enemy carry in his own jungle with that nice aggressive ward that they placed, and now looking to pick themselves up a tier 1 tower on the top. Meanwhile, Lucid looking for a trade down on the bottom. They're going to grab themselves that tier 1 there, but you know, it did also lose the kill, which is unfortunate. Now, 11 to 13, your kill score. 18 minutes is your kill time. Now, Lucid looking to defend this. They come in. The tower does drop, but with a Tornado EMP, burning off a lot of mana. Now, Magnus gets himself in the middle of that, gets a 2-man RP, and he is dropping pretty damn low. Nyx gets a beautiful Impale, catches 3, finishes off 2. The Luna and the Magnus now down. Crystal Maiden going to fall as well. Now looking for that Clinks. He's running himself away, but he's so low. Oh my god. Are they going to manage to catch him? No. The Impale getting thrown off blindly, and Clinks will run himself away. So 2 heroes just barely surviving. Lucid does lose 2 in that fight after that really good RP by the Magnus, but regardless, DKD wiped out a little bit, and Lucid widening that kill gap once again. Did not manage to defend their tower, but that is alright for them right now. We're looking at 3 tier 1 towers gone for DKD and only 2 in the side of Lucid, so got the tower advantage. They got a couple kills under their belt, but by no means is DKD out of this. They're looking really strong, and I think their late game is pretty superior to Lucid. I mean, Lucid always has that Faceless Void. As I said, he operates a little bit. He's an interesting hero in teamfights because, like I said, if you get a good Chronosphere down, you're almost guaranteed a kill or 2 to begin the team fight, and that is pretty scary. If fighting every fight 4 or 3v5 is just not good. Now, a Sentry Ward placed down, and they do manage to catch that Clinks. The Tornado does actually manage to catch him, but Magnus blinks up here, skewers back, and now a lot of damage going down. Demonic Purge goes out on the Clinks, but Shadow Demon does fall. Now, Invoker running himself away. I think he's going to be fine getting out of this as he moves really fast with those Exort stacks. Blink ahead by the Magnus, going to throw it a Skewer, or not a Skewer, a Shockwave, but doesn't manage to finish him off. Clink's a little bit wary to follow that as he's not sure what kind of detection they have, so he backs himself up, going to farm up that top lane a little more. Now, Faceless Void has retired to the enemy jungle and is just farming up some creeps here. He's got himself a Maelstrom, so he's sitting pretty on gold, but might look to defend this. He's going to come in from behind and see if he can get himself a Chronosphere, and he jumps right in. He's a first hit bash on the Luna. Oh my god, Viper Strike out on her too. She's going to drop. Now he moves on to the Mirana, going to finish her off as well, and there we go. Like I said, 2 kills right off the bat in that Chronosphere, and a team fight continues. Now a Tornado catches out Magnus, and he is going to drop to the Viper. Looking for more, but they're not going to find it. 3 kills go in the way of Lucid, and they've got pressure up on the mid lane. They do choose to continue to push. Now, Void going to retreat to the Ancients, going to try to farm those up a little bit for himself, while his teammates do other things. So I don't think they're going to be pushing in towards that tier 2, but they do catch themselves a good advantage there, and a good opportunity to catch up a little. I think if they wanted to go Roche, they actually probably could have done that. Don't know what's he got for Exort stacks. No, he doesn't have Exort, so he can't give Alacrity to the Faceless Void. So maybe not Roche quite yet. But anyways, we do have a pause here. D2, D squared, asking for a second. Gotta figure something out. See what goes on. Viper's dangerously close to an Aghanim Scepter. He's about 500 gold off of that. And with that mech Aghanims, he is going to be a nasty, nasty force to deal with. Faceless Void, like I said, sitting on that Maelstrom. Looks like he might build straight towards the Mjolnir to begin this with. Might also go elsewhere, get maybe a Basher or a bit. No, I don't know. Does Void build Basher? I've not seen Void enough to know his ideal item build, but I think he goes. What was it? Mjolnir, Butterfly, maybe DKD if the situation demands it. I'm not sure if he does Basher. I mean, he's got an innate bash, but seems like it would benefit him anyways. I don't know. Clink's now sitting on a single Oblivion Staff and a Ring of Achilles, so he's doing alright, but he's only got 13 CS, sitting really, really far down, below even the Crystal Maiden, the Mirana, and the Nyx. So I didn't actually realize how poorly Clink's was farming. He's gotten himself to be a part of 7 kills, so he's not doing too bad on that front. But this was kind of what I was talking about earlier. I mean, you can get as many kills as you want, but if you're not farming, I mean, look at his items. I mean, Power Treads, Aquila, and Oblivion Staff. It's all right, but I mean that is some pretty bad farm for this stage of the game, especially considering that he's a Clinks. I mean, Clinks is a decently easy hero to find farm with once you hit level 6 or 7. You can run around, you can clear out jungle camps with Death Pact. I mean, you get yourself your fair amount of kills, and jumping into lanes is not a bad thing. So, I don't know. He seems to be having a rough time this game. He's only died 3 times, so I don't imagine it was that terrible for him. But, anyways, Luna's lagging. She disconnects as well, so both teams just going to drop out quickly here. Mirana, she's sitting about 600 gold away from that mechanism, so she'll have that to give her team the proper support they need. Crystal Maiden not buying anything besides the core support items, Bracer, Observer Ward, Sentry Ward, and Smoke. So doing her team favors all around the board, not getting those big ticket support items, but rather just getting the little things to make the game continue, playing that 5 position support. Now, Magnus. He is dead, but he's got himself a Blink Dagger, got himself some Arcane Boots, and we'll see what he moves towards next. A lot of Magnuses will kind of diverge their builds from here. We've seen some go for, 4 staffs. It's a little silly to go for a 4 staff, but I mean, you can do it if you feel you need that mobility. A lot will move directly towards some tankability, whether that be a Heart of Tarask, or whether they go towards the Refresher for that double RP. Now, the Refresher is the most popular build, but there are some things that players will go for if they feel they really need it. I mean, Drums of Endurance are a great item on him because it gives him the stats he needs in the mid game. Magnus. Despite the fact that he is a strength hero and he is a giant rhinoceros beast, he is decently squishy, especially when you have something that can dish out a lot of damage like a Faceless Void inside of a Chronosphere, etc., etc. So, we'll see how that turns out. Invoker has decided that he wants to go directly for an Orchid, not opting to go for any of the maneuverability items that Invokers generally go for, the 4 staff or the Blink Dagger, or even the drums. He decides to go directly for the Orchid. We'll see what he chooses to pick up after that. I think it's always a good idea for Invokers to get that mobility, regardless of the circumstance, so I think we might see him go towards a 4 staff or a Blink Dagger after he finishes up this Orchid. Now, he can't afford the Orchid right now, so actually, Oh yeah, it's on the courier. So he's got that coming to him, and he will have it in just a moment. Luna got herself a finished BKB, has not used a single charge on it yet, so she's got 10 left available to her. Still has that Midas and the Helm of the Dominator that we were talking about. I think that Dominated creep did get eliminated, so she'll have to grab herself a new one and begin stacking up that Ancient Camp again if she wants to retain that gold income. It looks like Luna's reconnected. Invoker, we'll see if he's fixed his lag issues in a moment here, as teams request to go. Yeah, both teams saying ready. Not both teams. Lucid is saying ready, but the Luna is back, so I think DKD should be ready to go here in a moment. I'm going to grab a sip of water here. I'm a little parched. Alright, here we go. Now, next Assassin sitting on a level 1 Dagon, so he's got that burst damage available to him. 400 on top of the Vendetta damage, the Impale damage, and the Mana Burn as well. So it's going to be pretty bursty. Might be able to pick himself up a Crystal Maiden, a Mirana, or even a Clinks or Luna if he finds them out. I don't know if he's going to have enough burst to finish off any of the big ticket heroes, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. How much damage is that? Bonus damage, 250 on top of his auto attack, so we're sitting at about 300, a little less after mitigation. So 300-ish damage on the Vendetta Strike, 400 on that. We got about 260 on that. Intel multiplier on the Mana Burn. Alright, we'll see. Anyways, Void getting pinged out here. They know he's there, but he does have Nyx. Oh no, Nyx is not in the neighborhood. He backs himself away. He sees an arrow coming in, and he gets the hell out. Time walks away. I think he knows the Clinks is right on him. He is worried as hell, and not slowing down. His team rotating in, and the Clinks pops out, starts attacking him, and he doesn't have a way to get away from this. He's going to have to toggle his treads if he wants to be able to time walk. He's really low on health, though, so that might not work out for him. But the arrow flies forward. Anyways, on the backlines, Nyx Assassin kills off the Crystal Maiden, and a couple more auto attacks from the Clinks. Will he backtrack? No! Gets picked off, faces Void, dies to the Clinks. Now, Luna gets impaled out, looking for her. They get the Demonic Purge, but a decent RP catches to Invoker is still alive, does manage to finish off the Luna, but they do manage to get the Nyx and the Shadow Demon in the midst of all that. Now, Invoker trying to finish off that kill onto the Magnus, but meanwhile, Clinks is beating down on him. Mirana getting chased down by the Viper. Viper Strike is up on her, but doesn't last that long, as I don't think that, the Aghanims is not finished quite yet. Now, auto attacks flying out. Invoker running himself away. He does get the Ghost Walk off, and I don't think that kill is going to happen. Yes, they're asking what server this is. Yeah, Clink's running himself away. I think he's going to manage to escape this one. He's got all the movement speed he needs. Tornado going to fly! Doesn't catch him. Spots that out and backs up. They do catch Crystal Maiden, but won't be able to catch up. Now, yeah, this is a US East server. I guess they're having some lag issues, wondering what's going on. DKD's server preference was US East, and Team Lucid agreed to do that. I think their players are from US West, but I mean, there's not a huge difference between East and West for most players in North America, so I think they just opted to go East. So either way, Nyx Assassin. Does he get pinged out? Oh yeah, there's a sentry here. There's a Radiant Sentry, so they know Nyx is here. Crystal Maiden going to play very carefully. It looks like she's trying to bait him into this, and she does walk herself a little bit forward, and Magnus jumps forward, skewers him back underneath the tower. Now the Dagon will finish off that kill, so Crystal Maiden is going to fall, but they do manage to get the Nyx in return. I think that was a decent trade. You know, Crystal Maiden, she's not worth a lot. I mean, she's a support. She buys her wards. She does her thing, but Nyx Assassin is the 4-position hero on Lucid, going for the bigger ticket items, like I said, like the Dagon. So he's gonna have the that. The gold is more important to him than it is to her. Now he did get the kill first, so she's not getting any XP, but her teammates are. So as Mirana drops a ward there, but I think that was spotted as 2 Lucid members walking towards that area. No, maybe not. Now they're converging on mid, looking towards picking up that Magnus. He gets silenced as he blinks away, doesn't manage to make it over the cliff, and I think he's toast. Yeah, 1 auto attack, and the Invoker is going to catch that kill. Mirana arrow flying forward is going to catch that Viper, but doesn't mean a whole lot. No follow-up going to happen there, and yeah, Invoker has picked himself up a 4-staff after going for that Orchid. So he's got all the mobility in the world.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Bottom tower getting split pushed out here by the Luna. Tornado going to fly in, catches them out. EMP a little bit slow to be invoked, and not going to do much there as the Black King Bar gets popped off. But I think D Squared is going to be happy with deflecting that deflecting that Luna and burning that BKB charge. So no pressure managing to come in on that mid-tier 2. They were forced to back off as that happened. Now just deciding to raid the enemy team jungle and back themselves away. Now Faceless Void sitting on a fat stack of 2,700 gold. He's got himself pretty much the same items we mentioned before, the Mask of Madness, the Maelstrom, and we'll see what he works towards. I think he can buy the Mjolnir straight up right now if he wants to. We'll see what his selection is. Might also see him go for something else. But anyways, Nick Sesson finds himself Crystal Maiden, but oh man, finishes her off right away. Tornado going to come in, catch out that Clinks, and stun does land on Faceless Void. Is he going to drop? Oh, he's so low. He's trying to run himself away. He's going to, what? Oh, that was a mechanism that kept him alive there. Oh my god, what an impale. Catches out 3, and now Deafening Blast flies back, going to catch Mirana. Faceless Void jumps right back in, gets himself that kill, and they are going to get a 5-man team wipe. Team Lucid playing that beautifully. Oh man, so many of their heroes so low, but they just managed to get every last bit out of every last hero, making sure that mechanism kept the Faceless Void alive, making sure that they kept everyone safe, and they didn't even have Chronosphere available to that fight. So that could have been a huge turning point. They're going to get Roche, they get themselves a 5-man advantage, and I'm sure if we take a peek at the graphs right now, yeah, there's that huge dip from the beginning of this team fight, dropping down by about 5,000, and whew. That is a big blow to DKD. That's going to be a mountain to climb for them. About 12,000 EXP advantage in the favor of Lucid. They've been taking better engagements and more engagements throughout the course of the game. So we will have to see what DKD plans to come back from this. Now, they do have the highest farmer in the game on their side. Luna's doing all right, but she needs to be in a position where she can dish out that damage, where Magnus gets a good RP, Clinks is just blasting away, Freezing Field goes down, and she can just pop off that Eclipse and go to work. It'll be, like I said, it'll be a mountain to climb. They're not out of it yet, but they definitely need to make this happen. Now, Tornado going to fly in, EMP getting dropped as well. Now, Luna walks right into the middle of all this with the Black King bar up, pops off that Eclipse, but she is miles ahead of her entire team. Now with that RP, she finds herself some space to get those attacks off. She doesn't drop. Oh my god, so much damage down. The Viper and the Shadow Demon falling, but the Void revives from his Aegis and pops out that Chronosphere, gets himself 2 kills, going to turn back around on the Crystal Maiden, and I don't think she's going to get out of this. I mean, maybe she gets lucky, but Void is chasing pretty violently. He's backtracking a lot from underneath that tower. Does get a bash, and Crystal Maiden will fall. Now the buyback on the Magnus. Going to try to make this happen, and he does actually manage to get the kill on the Void, so very good play by them. Now, looks like they want to finish off this. Oh man, that blink forward was so close. But the Impale, Sunstrike, oh man, yeah, they didn't even need it. I think the creeps killed off Magnus there. So a 6-man wipe for 3, I believe, was the trade in that initiation. And Lucid walking out of that even further ahead. Even though they lost the Aegis and they lost the Void, you know, they did turn around another 5-man wipe. And I mean, Luna, she tried to initiate that fight. She walked in right past her tower, got up into here where there was, you know, Lucid guy here, Lucid guy here, Lucid guy here, Lucid guy here. And she thought she was invincible with that Black King bar, but with the Viper Strike going through it, well, lasting through it rather, she was really slowed. And though she did manage to live after the RP, you know, she wasn't alive for as long as she needed to be. And that, you know, that revive Chronosphere was all it really took. Void needs to go into every fight ahead of his team, get the RP, and they need to follow in and take these team fights in a much more coordinated fashion. I mean, they are playing very well, but just not as coordinated as Lucid. Lucid's very good about popping off those items when they need to, catching off that mechanism to save the Void earlier, and oh, Crystal Maiden almost getting herself caught out here. The Invoker looking for her, gets the Cold Snap out, one more auto attack, gonna finish her off. So little pickoffs like this can happen, and I mean, you're getting frustrated. I understand things are going a little bit south. You're a little bit concerned, but I mean, stuff like this, Mirana going to ward, getting caught out by the Nyx, the Invoker walking forward, getting a solo kill on the Crystal Maiden. You just can't have that stuff happening. It's just going to put you further and further behind and make this valley that you've gotten yourself into even deeper. Now, Lucid looking to be in firm control here, 29 minutes, 15 seconds into this game of Dota 2, but all hope is not lost. I think they've still got a chance. It's going to be a rough, tough mountain to climb, as I've said. But, oh man, Invoker coming out of nowhere. Tornado, EMP, blasting off that Magnus. Now, I don't think the EMP actually burned off the mana, but, oh man, Invoker eating a lot of damage and will actually die to the Clinks Now, with a couple bottle charges, he is going to survive that. Magnus gets out of that alive, but meanwhile, Luna up on the top lane gets herself caught out by the Viper and the Faceless Void, who got the final kill there. Faceless Void did get that kill, and he's sitting himself on a butterfly right now. So lots of damage, and this is an ugly Faceless Void. I would not want to be fighting this in any game of Dota ever. All the bashes and all the damage and all the zaps and the evasion is. You're never gonna kill this guy. Never gonna. I mean, he's got 1,200. He's got 1,200 health. But he's got 30% or 35% evasion on the butterfly, and time lock gives him a that's backtrack 25%. 25% on time lock or on backtrack. Yeah. I don't think those stack additively. I think they stack multiplicatively, but not sure how they stack. But either way, they stack in some manner or another. Now Clanks pops himself out of Invis, finds himself the Viper, and oh, what an arrow! They catch him out, looking for him. They pop off the dust, but Void jumps himself into this Chronosphere going down. A little bit of ADD, but he does decide to go for the. Magnus finishes him off, gets the Mirana, turns around onto the other guy. The Clanks finishes him. Oh my god, finishes him off. Now looking at the Luna and just bash locked to hell. Full 5-man wipe again, and GG is called. I don't blame them whatsoever. DKD took a couple really bad engagements, and it just snowballed to the point where they couldn't handle it anymore. And before the mid-tier 2 drops, we are going to see a GG called. So Team Lucid taking a convincing victory in game number 1. Can they do it again in game number 2? We will see. This is a best of 3 series, so we will be back in game number 2 in just a mere moment here. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we will see you back in just a moment. I'm going to throw the overlay up, and we will get this next game going. Shout out to my girlfriend as well. She's watching right now. Anna, I love you, and I miss you, and I will see you soon. Yeah, we'll see you in a moment, guys.